Hello, wonderful viewers. Welcome to another session with Creative Bright Studio. This afternoon, I want us to design this simple social media post. Okay, so let's analyze the way before we start. I have two logos here. Okay, for these two institutions, and then the name of the program. Okay, so I have a picture here with a picture which has been clip marked with a stroke around it, and then we have this loading here to give people the anticipation that the program will be coming up, and then we have a background pattern here. All right, so let's get doing this. So go into our Photoshop. I want to start it fresh, so click new, and then we maintain at 3000 by 3000. Why do I like using this one? Because it fits the WhatsApp DP screen. Most of these DP screens size is able to fix it. Okay. All right, so first of all, I want to bring in our pictures. So let's go to place embedded. Then I go to where the file is, the folder is. So I have the first and the second logo. Okay, so I place this one here. Then go for the next one. Yes, you can as well as drag it straight to Photoshop. Okay, so with a Shift and Alt to resize it. All right. You can copy the text from Microsoft Word or any text editing or processing software and bring it into Photoshop. Okay, but remember that when you come into Photoshop, you must use the text tool, okay, to draw a box, or just the text tool so that you can paste it inside. Yeah, so I've pasted it inside here, but the thing is that you don't see anything, but look at the layer, it is there. All right, so it's because of the white here, the fore color is white, that is why you don't see anything. So let me double click it, then pick a color that I can see. All right, so this is what I have. Okay, so I press V for my move tool to adjust it as I want. Okay, with the text tool, let me readjust it to get exactly how I want it to be. Let me do it from here. Okay. All right. All right, so I have this one here, and then the logo. Let me resize it a little bit. Okay, so this one is done. Now I want to bring in the image. Okay, so I go for a rectangle and draw. Then I go for my first image here. Alright, so we've learned from our previous lessons that to be able to do a successful clip mask, that is putting an image into a shape, let the image stay on top of the particular shape on the layer. Then you can right click on the image, not the shape, and then you click on create clip mask so it fits in. But it's not perfectly done, so I press Ctrl+T on that particular layer. Then I can readjust it as I want it. Okay. Nice one. Then I go for my ellipse tool and draw the second one for the guest speaker. All right, this is for educational purpose, but when you want to try, you can use your own images that you didn't fit. Okay, so I have this one here. Now let me go for the speaker's image, place embedded. I have the speaker here. So like I said, it's for educational purpose. Now the other way of clip masking is that you can go to that particular layer and press the Alt key, it changes into this arrow, and then you click it and it comes inside. So let me use the Ctrl plus T transform and then readjust it to have it as I want it. Okay, that's nice. Alright, so I want to group the clip mask so that it becomes easy for me to control it this way. Okay, so there's a stroke around the ellipse or the circle I just drawn. So I go to the properties, I come to the stroke. Let me pick a color from, I want to pick a color from, okay, using this, the speaker's color. Okay, let me increase the stroke to say 4 points. Alright, so I have it nicely done for me. Then the name of the program, it says what? Business Seminar. Okay, so business seminar, I can come here, copy. Now the reason why I say you should use the text tool is that when you come to Photoshop and use like the usual paste, Ctrl plus V, sorry, Ctrl plus V, I have it here. It's pasted for me, alright, the name, what I just copied. But the issue is that it comes as an image, a picture, which becomes very difficult to work on. Alright, so use the text tool, then you can now paste it. So this gives you the control that you want. Alright, yeah, so I have it nicely done this way for me. Okay, so let me go for the other elements. So what I advise you as a beginner is that just bring in your objects or items, everything, and then you take your time to do the formatting, right? Okay, so I have this. Then we have this one to a rounded rectangle. Okay, so let me do this one. Right, so let me start with my formatting. I want to use the font, the Montserrat font. I will include it in the resource folder so that you can use it for work. So I have the Montserrat black. All right, so I want to close the line spaces. So after selecting the text, you come to the text properties, then use this one. As you reduce the figure, it closes the line spacing. Okay, so I pick the seminar and I use the same font, and because it's the same font family, I get it like this way. Okay, now I want to center it properly. How do I center it with respect to the working area? You press Ctrl plus A, it selects the whole item, and make sure this particular layer is selected, and with the move tool you click what? Center. So that is how it's able to center with respect to the work. Okay, so Control, or you come to select, then deselect to take away the selection. Now I come here and I draw a rectangle. Alright, and this rectangle, let me take away the stroke. It has this color, so I want to pick a color from the work. So beginner, most of the times you ask yourself, so how do I get the colors and all that? As a beginner, I advise you that you can just borrow your colors from the pictures or images or the work you're trying to do. Okay, now I want to use the zoom tool to zoom out so that I can have more control over this one. Okay, so Ctrl plus T, I'm able to adjust it as I want it. Okay, all right, so use the Ctrl plus O to get the normal view again. All right, now let's work on this one. When you come here, you can see that it has different colors here. Okay, showing that something is loading. So what I'll do is that let's click on this particular shape, Let's go for the shape properties. All right, let me take away the stroke. Now when you come to the fill, I want to use a gradient. Okay, so this gradient, I want a color that is clearer. So let's pick this one. Okay, and then I want to change. All right, so with this colors selected, let me change the color here so that it becomes obvious. I pick red, then I click and remove this one. Then I pick another color, okay, to give the difference. Now this is where the magic happens. You click on this options here and then you select angle. All right, so look at what happens. This is linear, this is radial, this is what angle. All right, if you choose the other reflected, you get different what effects. Okay, so it is up to you to decide which effect you want. I can rotate it this way, good, so they can have it going that it is moving from red to that one. Okay, so I click using the same font, the Montserrat font. I type the loading. All right, so if you observe carefully, let me reduce the size of this one. If you observe carefully, you can see that the loading is spread out. Okay, so how do we do that? Just come to the text, select it, come to the text properties, and then use the kerning. All right, good, to spread it out. So yeah, so this is how it is done. Now let me come to this side. I'm going to use the same font. Okay, why am I not using so many fonts? Consistency is very key and it's very professional if you try not to use more than one or two. At least one or two is fine. Okay, but going 3 or 4 fonts is not professional. Right, so let me make it venue. Okay, so this is the venue. I want to make it unique. Okay, let me rather do the work here. Let me select, make it bold. All right, and then I want to maintain a consistency with the labels. When I say labels, okay, this is the let me choose a darker green instead. Okay, yeah, so I want to stay within this. So to repeat the same color, just come to this one, right click and copy the color code there. So I pick this one to, I make it bold. Okay, and then the label, I change it to this color. Remember, you copied the color code, so just press Ctrl V to paste it. So you have the same color pasted for you. Now the other thing is this one. For consistency, I want to keep the same font here, the Montserrat font. Okay, I think medium is fine. Let me reduce the size so that it can fill up the space. Alright, so I want to reduce it. Okay, so the move tool, I adjust it a little bit. Alright, so the last item. Okay, so we want to bring in our background. Okay, we want to bring in our background. So let me use Ctrl+O, then locate where the background can be found. Okay, so this is where our background is. Now, when you use the Ctrl open command, it comes into a new tab. Alright, so it gives us the opportunity to do any editing before moving into the next one. Right, so this background is locked. Let's unlock it, and then you press C on the keyboard to give you the cut. So I'm able to move it this way and take off the side I don't want. Okay, yeah, go for my move tool, I click and I drag it to this tab here, and then I move it inside the work. All right, now because I want it to be on the background, I have to move or drag the layer to the last one here. Okay, it was not done well. So I click it, I drag it, and I bring it here. Good. So I use Ctrl T to hold it, then I stretch it. Okay, I stretch it. Right. So this is it here. Then it appears that this logo, the logos are on it, right? I will solve that issue soon. So let me duplicate this layer, and then I want to swap it. Okay, we call it transform it. So we have two here, the same thing. So I want one to face the other opposite direction. So what you do that, you click that, make sure the layer is selected, you come to edit and transform and come to flip horizontal, so it comes in the opposite direction. Now let me fix the problem here. So you can see that this layer, the logo here is blocking the background. Okay, so what we can do in several ways. Okay, one of the ways is that I want to introduce you to what we call the blend mode. You click here and then let's select the multiply, so it tries to blend with the background. Let me click on this one too and then select multiply. So you see it misses it with the background, and that's how it disappears. But this background is too loud. Okay, it's distracting us from the way it works. So what we do with that, let's select it and then reduce the opacity. Please understand this, that in graphic design every element has a voice. Okay, I want to readjust this one, Ctrl plus T, and then rotate it. Good. I think this one is far better than this. Ctrl plus T, come click, and then with the shift key on you can rotate it here. So I want it this way. Yeah, so understand that everything in design is communicating. Okay, so you don't want anyone to interrupt you or distract you from the main message you want to carry across. All right, so I reduce it with opacity 20%. Let me also reduce this a little bit. Yes, so yeah, so okay, so we have the guest speaker here, right? So press D, let's type the name of the guest speaker. So we have the name of guest speaker, right? So that is all that you can do here. Right, so thank you very much for following up with this tutorial. Have a great day. Bye.